Hello, Internet. It's Mike Fenton here. And you may be asking yourself, what are you doing on the YouTubes? Well, the answer to that is that I've been a fan of review shows like Zero Punctuation, The Spoony One, The Angry Video Game Nerd, etc., for a very long time now. So I thought that I would stop by and give something of my own. Now, the question was what to do. It seems like most other things already have a dozen or so reviewers on YouTube. So I thought to myself recently, yes. Anyway, the internet's chock full of reviewers doing old video games, new video games, horrible movies, and hell, even other reviewers. But do you know what I think the internet could use more of? More horrible Asian ripoffs of 90s songs. No. Mm, more Fred videos? No. Hmm. I know. More videos of people saying that M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender was a really good movie if you could get over the TV show. Sorry you had to see that. I have self-destructive tendencies. um, Comic books. That's what I was thinking. The internet could use more comic book reviews. Yeah. Now the biggest debate when you're talking about comic book preferences, of course, DC and Marvel, and usually I have a hard time picking sides. When it comes to characters and general stories, I usually prefer Marvel, but as for my favorite graphic novels, it's usually DC. So rather than making an actual decision about which one to review first, I'm gonna do both. How, you ask, oh Internet? By reviewing DC vs. Marvel, a, for lack of a better term, graphic novel from the late 90s. Now, I'm not going to lie, coming from the late 90s was already not a good start in my eyes. I know there were great graphic novels to come out of the era, but there was a lot of things about character design at that point that I just really didn't like, despite Superman sporting the most luxurious mullet this world has ever known. But let's get to the actual graphic novel. The plot here is essentially non-existent. There's something about these two brothers who are really Marvel and DC, and they're constantly fighting each other, but they didn't know the other existed, but they did a long time ago, just whatever. Essentially, they have a sibling rivalry, and rather than appearing on Jerry Springer or Maury, they decide that they're going to have the superheroes from their universes duke it out to decide who's best. It's really just a bare bones excuse to have the Hulk punch Superman in the face. And sure, there are a few background things, like Kingpin taking over the Daily Planet and replacing Perry with Jameson. And that's all sideline stuff that the book doesn't really bother going into. They also create an amalgam universe, and oh, I'll get more on that later. Suffice to say, it's some of the most arbitrary bull that I've ever seen in a comic book. Now, the most important part of this graphic novel should be the fights. I mean, Superman fights the Hulk, Captain Marvel dukes it out with Thor, Wonder Woman and Storm get to it, and Captain America and Batman match skills. No, I'm not going to nerd rage about who won which fight. I'm actually fairly happy with the results. It was the Hulk with Bruce Banner's mind, so I can get behind him not being as strong as Superman. And frankly, anybody's grandmother should be able to whoop the hell out of Jubilee. No, the main problem I have is that the fights are given embarrassingly small amounts of page space. Sure, Catwoman and Elektra are kind of minor characters, so I guess they can get away with it. But Storm and Wonder Woman? Okay, first off, why Storm? Why not Miss Marvel or someone with more comparable powers? I don't know. I mean, their fight barely lasts 2 pages, with Storm just lightning bolting the hell out of Wonder Woman until she stops moving, which was lame. But I digress. Let's see. Marvel vs. Thor, 4 pages. Superman vs. the Hulk, 3 pages. Batman and Captain America, 3 pages. I mean, isn't the whole point of a versus graphic novel to see the combat and interaction of the characters who've never met before? Instead, the book insists on cramming page after page after page of explaining their moronic excuse for a viable plot. It's just frames of various characters going, "Whoa, what's going on?" and Why is this happening? And doing DC versus Marvel shouldn't be that hard. Have Superman punch Thor in the face repeatedly. How hard is it? I mean, for a graphic novel that's supposed to be predominantly about the fights between memorable characters, the actual combat between them is just half-assed. There's nothing really memorable about any of the battles, and the only one that held any kind of emotional tension was Flash versus Quicksilver. And outside of their fight, you never see those two characters. Now, as I've said, DC vs. Marvel should mostly be about the fights, but oh, we couldn't have that. Just before the climax of the story arc, the brothers meld into one universe, fusing heroes together. Like Superman and Cap become Super Soldier, and Batman and Wolverine become an abomination in the eyes of God. Now, I admit, fusing Professor Xavier, Dr. Fate, and Doctor Strange was a pretty cool idea. It just doesn't make up for Darkclaw and the Skulk. No, the real ball twister here is that there's no reason for this melding universes. It's really just filler, delaying us from reaching the end. I don't know. I think that the page space could have been better off being used as, some more time for the actual fights, the things that you as the audience paid to see. And of course, as is standard with a Versus comic, there's no real winner. I mean, sure, Marvel scored more wins in the duels, but neither universe faces a consequence for it. And it just boils down to everyone teaming up in the end while Batman and Captain America solve everything. So, let's bottom line this. Do I recommend DC vs. Marvel? No! God, no! It's not really well done. There's no real plot, and there's certainly no satisfying ending. I could forgive all of that. All of it. If the fights were well done and memorable. But they're not. They're just not. I mean, why bother having a fight scene if it's dull, short, and doesn't even solve anything?
There you are!
Hi?
I'm you from another dimension. Let's fight!
Why?
But, just do it!
Okay, if you insist.
That was unsatisfying. Ugh.
Huh. Well, anyway. Until next time, I'm Mike Fenton, and now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go read a better comic book.